Okay, so next from Jesse James, and somebody's LA Knight versus Kevin Nash and Triple H. Greetings, K100 Famba Ramba Jamba. As you probably have already heard, yeah. As you probably already heard, Big Sexy won his podcast the other day to bury LA Knight again. Mainly reacting what he already said about him before, taking shots at his age, the fact that he considers Knight's act to be a ripoff of The Rock, Stone Cold, and the Attitude Era in general. He also disclosed a private conversation he had with Hunter, where he claims that Hunter told him he considers LA Knight to be nothing more than a nostalgia act, that it isn't fair to push him over guys that actually have an original character. I've heard Disco address these criticisms before, and I 100% agree with him that it doesn't matter if his act is similar to those of the Attitude Era, just as long as he's getting over in the here and now, which he clearly is. LA Knight, as of right now, gets a bigger crowd reaction than the Bloodline, and his merch is flying off the shelf. I'm predicting now that this will usher in a paradigm shift, where the WWE is going to look at the massive success of LA Knight and begin borrowing more and more from the Attitude Era, and why wouldn't they? Thanks and take care. Bro, this is just... I mean, the criticism of him is ridiculous. The guy, like, everybody kind of emulates characters that they grew up with, and he's just emulating guys that were over super huge, and he's doing it to great fan reaction. Which common sense would dictate, like, if more people emulated the stars that were super over instead of emulating Japanese stars. And bro, everybody, here's the funny thing. They say he's a ripoff, okay? Fine if he's a ripoff, okay? But everybody that working today is ripping off the same spots in matches. And it looks repetitive, and it looks like everybody's doing the exact same thing. So, like, I don't, everybody's ripping off something here and there, and like to selectively say, well, he's just ripping off. It's like they're hating on them because he's ripping off people that are getting him over, and he's getting hated because everybody else is
saying that. But the guy's saying Kevin Nash is saying this, right, Joe?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yes. Nash says he's a ripoff. Right. But a lot of people say he's a ripoff. Right. But a lot of wrestling fans aren't 45 to 50 years old, and remember that.
Joe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had Eli Drake on the show, and I actually brought that up to him. I said, "Hey, your cadence a lot is like the Rocks," and he went into an explanation. He agreed. Put that up there. Put it on wherever, YouTube or whatever, because I think that's a good conversation we had with him, where he's not even denying it. And bro, here's the thing: this is what I would tell Kevin, because Kevin is no longer really kind of in the business, except probably for the podcast he does with that guy Oliver. Yeah, we're a lot more, I think, more attuned with what's going on in the business, and he's looking at it from afar, and he's like, "Oh, look, they're ripping him off." But bro, I would ask Kevin, why aren't you burying AJ and the OC? Because they always do the Too Sweet, and now you have the Bullet Club Gold in AEW, and they do the Too Sweet. Why wouldn't I get mad? I was part of the NWO and the Wolfpack, but it keeps it alive, bro. It's cool. The young guys are doing we were doing. I've had people go, "Hey man, can I do the rolling clothesline or the tequilas?" Yeah, bro, I've got no problem, because they're like honoring you. Like Disco took a lot of from Honky Tonk, which was a cool character, and he put his twist on it. Am I correct or no?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. The cadence, the time when to do the gimmick and stuff. But I'll say this.
Honky Tonk was entertaining.
But I'll say this.
And let me just say one last thing. My wardrobe, because I really wasn't influenced by any wrestlers too much, but my wardrobe was, which early on, especially in Mexico, went everything, the gamut from gaudy to flamboyant, was like Macho Man, Prince, Hector Macho Camacho. Like when I would, I would always attire myself. I was inspired by them. Go ahead, Di.
Well, plus two. Like all these guys, like every wrestler today took like all the finishes from our era and stuff and everybody just kicks out of it. Just another move right now. Like there's tons of copying in wrestling and stuff in this. So like I just think people are, that when a guy gets over, there's just going to be a percentage of people that have to just criticize something about it. And I think Kevin hadn't really seen him that before, and like saw, this guy's just doing the Rock and Stone Cold. And like I don't even Kevin already said he's not. It's not like he's doing it bad. And then Kevin even said he's not doing it bad. He said that's just what he's doing. It's like, okay, that is what he's doing. So
now, Joe, what did you put up there on the screen? Is this something you wanted us to hear?
Yeah, I thought that, but there's another Nash Knight email, so I was just going to save it. But, I thought maybe Nash might be responding because it looks like Knight buried him on SmackDown. If you want to see it right now, or Okay.
What did he say?
Well, just he mentioned a promo that's something that Kevin had cut back in end of it was there's a difference. But go play it because
Yeah, I got it. It's because it's only 13 seconds.
And does it play the Nash part that he had with Bischoff, or the thing he's referencing?
No, it's
don't even bother. He'll have no clue what he's talking about. You have to see the Nash. Go try to find the video. There's an actual clip that shows that promo and then the Nash promo, which is like 10. It should be a 30-second clip. Okay, so next is from
But for this guy that wrote in, we love Kevin, we disagree with him, but I think we know where he's coming from.
Right. Next is from Brad Zawacki. Bro, I think they could do some good TV together. If he would have buried him again, and Nash, remember how Nash did that thing with
just
Punk?
showed up.
Yeah,
right,
he just showed up.
That was great, bro. He had one of the best lines ever when Nash told Punk, "How can I take you seriously when you look like the dishwasher from Rob Waffle House?" Right. Short order clip. That was
right. Yeah. Next is from Brad Zawacki.